1. Hook hidden costs in AWS can drain your startup budget faster than you think. Stick around, and I'll show you how to spot these costs before they wreck your finances. 2. The real problem: AWS is powerful and flexible, but it's not always straightforward. 3. The simple explanation: AWS pricing is based on consumption. Every service has its own pricing model. Some charge by the hour, others by the request, and some even by data transfer. This complexity means it's easy to overlook costs. On-demand instances pay for what you use, but over-provisioning can lead to high costs. Data transfer: inbound data is usually free, but outbound data can add up quickly. Storage costs: different types of storage come with different pricing. S3, EBS, and Glacier all have their own structures. Understanding these fundamentals helps you manage costs better. 4. Real-world example: let's consider a fictional startup called Appify. They launched a new mobile app and decided to use AWS for hosting. Initially, they set up an EC2 instance with an on-demand option. They started small, using a T2.micro instance, which is free for the first year under the AWS free tier. However, as their user base grew, they didn't upgrade their instance type. By the end of the first month, they noticed significant latency during peak hours, so they increased their instance size without a proper load analysis. They moved to a T2.large instance, thinking it would solve their problems. What they didn't account for was the data transfer costs. Users were uploading and downloading a lot of media. By the end of the month, they were hit with a $1,200 bill, primarily due to data transfer charges. They had underestimated their outbound data costs, which were about 9 cents per gigabyte for the first 10 terabytes. The incident forced them to reevaluate their AWS architecture and budgeting strategy. They realized that without careful monitoring and scaling, hidden costs could easily spiral out of control. 5. What to do instead? Now, let's break down how to avoid these pitfalls. Step 1. Monitor usage regularly. Set up AWS Cost Explorer to visualize your spending. Check your usage weekly. This gives you visibility into spending patterns. Step 2. Implement budgets and alerts. Create a budget in AWS Budgets. Set alerts at 80% and 100% of your budget. This helps you react before it's too late. Step 3. Right-size your instances. Use AWS Trusted Advisor to analyze your usage. Identify underutilized instances. If you see an instance running at 10% CPU for weeks, it's time to downgrade. Step 4. Optimize data transfer. Use CloudFront for content delivery. It caches data, reducing retrieval from your origin server. Consider compressing files before upload to minimize data transfer. Step 5. Choose the right storage class. Identify your storage needs. Use S3 standard for frequent access, S3 infrequent access for less frequent data, and Glacier for archiving. Regularly audit your storage to ensure you're using the most cost-effective options. 6. Common mistakes. Here are 5 common mistakes startups make, along with how to avoid them. Mistake 1. Ignoring unused resources. Fix. Regularly check for unused or idle resources. Terminate what you don't need. Use AWS Cost Explorer to identify these resources. Mistake 2. Over-provisioning instances. Fix. Make data-driven decisions. Use CloudWatch metrics to analyze performance and adjust your instance size accordingly. Mistake 3. Not using reserved instances. Fix. If you have steady workloads, consider reserving instances for savings of up to 75%. Choose between 1-year and 3-year terms based on your needs. Mistake 4. Forgetting to delete test environments. Fix. Establish a lifecycle policy for your environments. Delete or stop resources that are no longer in use after testing. Mistake 5. Neglecting data transfer fees. Fix. Monitor your data transfer costs closely. Utilize tools such as AWS Budgets to set alerts based on data transfer usage. 7. Quick checklist. Monitor usage weekly. Set budgets and alerts. Right-size your instances. Optimize data transfer with CloudFront. Choose the right storage class. Regularly audit unused resources. Review instance reservations for long-term savings. 8. Summary plus CTA. Hidden AWS costs can derail your startup finances, but with the right strategies, you can keep your budget intact. Monitor your resources, set up budgets, optimize your architecture, and avoid common pitfalls. If you found this video helpful, please comment below with your AWS experiences and subscribe for more insights. Let's keep your startup thriving in the cloud. Bonus practical tip: if you're unsure what to pick, start with the simplest option that ships today. Then measure for 7 days, latency, errors, deploy time, and cost. Only upgrade when metrics force the decision, not fear. Quick recap: keep it simple, avoid over-engineering, and build the smallest thing that works. If you want a real demo or checklist, comment demo. Subscribe for practical AWS, DevOps, Docker, and Kubernetes lessons.